On that basis, there are a lot of reasons why young players will shine tonight, or hopefully will shine, and why it's a good game. But then, in general terms also, I guess it's another chance to have a squad together, get a win on, and keep this feel-good factor that the Irish team has at the moment.
Let's look then at that Irish team. And 20-year-old Sunderland striker Stephen Elliott becomes the latest new face introduced by Brian Kerr, completing a road that started when he was first selected for the under-15 squad. A spate of withdrawals means that only 5 members of the first 11 started the last match against the Faroe Islands. Paddy Kenny starts a home international for the first time. Gary Breen and Richard Dunn, overlooked in recent times, reunite in central defence, and Liam Miller and Graham Kavanagh are given chances too.
Yes, and tactically Brian Kerr has gone for a 4-3-3 formation, which unusual for him. I mean, it's been embedded really in Irish football, 4-4-2, but as you'll see, Miller, Kavanagh and Kilban will be the strength holding players in midfield, and it's great. It gives a great opportunity for Elliott, Keane and Duff to get lots of ball forward and to try things out on the edge of the box, and I think it'll be an exciting night for the fans if it works well. I mean, the flat back four have to be on their guard though, because with a new formation like this, it can take a while to settle in, and they might find that the Croatians come at them. But all in all, it's adventurous, and as Brian Kerr says, it's there for a reason. It's there to see if it'll be needed in future.
Dado Perso won't get the customary welcome reserved for Rangers players here. His club's request to keep him ahead of the weekend's Old Firm game has been granted. Similar leeway has been given to 2 members of the Dynamo Kiev squad, but the starting 11 includes 9 players from the Euro 2004 squad. Igor Tudor and the German-based Kovac brothers, Robert and Nico, offer a wealth of experience. Wide man Dario Sirna has scored 3 in the last 2 internationals, and dangerous Werder Bremen frontman Ivan Klasnic will be supported by the coach's son, Nico Kranjčar.
Yeah, defensively Croatia will be very similar to Ireland in a flat, strong back four, but they're a little bit different in their approach, and that Klasnic up front won't have 2 guys up with him all the time. Sirna and Babic on both wings will probably have a defensive role to play as well tonight, but their strength will be in the midfield. Kranjčar, as you say, with Kovac and Vranches, I mean, they'll be the holding players that will, that the likes of Miller, Kavanagh and Kilban will have to deal with. But it makes for a fascinating game. I think there's a good opportunity for the Irish lads to get forward against this formation, and hopefully we'll be in for a good night with plenty of chances.
And it's 2 home wins and 2 away draws for the Irish in qualifying so far. It's a windy night at Lansdowne Road. It'll be interesting to see if the conditions have any effect on the game, because it is a very open ground, this.
Yeah, absolutely, and I suppose the toss before the game will be quite important, because what do? Do you go for the stiff breeze and the hope that you're going to attack a lot, or do you defend it and hope to come on strong in the second half? It'll be interesting enough, but I would say probably more important than the conditions is really the players getting the first 10-15 minutes right, especially the younger ones. Stephen Elliott, I mean, you always used to say to a young lad in the dressing room, do the first couple of things right, get yourself off and running, don't try and be a hero in the first minute, don't go for the killer pass, a couple of nice touches. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I really hope it goes well for him. Sunderland have needed a hero in the last couple of years since Kevin Phillips has gone, and this guy could just fill the boots.
Well, Brian Kerr has been trawling all around to bolster his strike force. Tried John Macken in 1 international friendly this season, so tonight is Stephen Elliott's big chance, and those on the terraces will be looking to acclaim a new hero, a hero who's done well at under-21 level. In fact, he's the top scorer at that level with 6 goals, so he's proved his point just below the senior grade, and Ireland hoping he can carry that on. Nice to see 1 or 2 Croatian supporters dotted around Lansdowne Road. Chance for the Irish to put some off-the-field problems behind them. The chief executive of the FAI, Fran Rooney, resigned halfway into a 3-year deal. There was a standoff with the government over the process of appointing his successor, but it is a big week in football terms here in Ireland, because the destination of the domestic league title will be determined this week. Shelbourne needing just a point to secure it. But it's also, we've mentioned, a big night for Stephen Elliott, and a proud night for Kevin Kilban, because he's at the head of the line, and it's the first time that he will lead out the Irish as captain. And
thoroughly deserved, I have to say. What he has done since he's come into the Irish setup, he has brought character, he has brought passion. Hasn't always gone well for him, he'd be the first to admit, but that desire to keep improving and keep him going till the thing came right, and it's come right for him. He's captain of his country, and I know he will take that so well. It's such an important honour for him, and I know for his parents, stuff like that. I mean, it's wonderful for them at home, and the guy deserves it. He's different class.
He's fought off a series of challenges that appeared to threaten his position in the Irish team, but tonight Kevin Kilban is winning his 59th cap, and he is doing so as captain of this side, with Kenny Cunningham starting the match on the bench. It's also a big night, incidentally, for the referee, Gylfi Tor Orison. His last UEFA match, 44-year-old retiring from the UEFA list. Through the narrow confines of the tunnel. And what will Stephen Elliott be feeling now, just as he waits to come out and experience the atmosphere of playing in a senior international for the first time ever? He's proved his worth for Sunderland this season, with 8 goals since his move from Manchester City. Can he make himself an instant hero at Lansdowne Road in the senior side? A big night for him. And a night too when Ireland will hope to preserve their proud home record. Unbeaten in home internationals since Brian Kerr took charge. And looking to show again why they're the 14th best football nation in the world.
Well, I think they've shown it enough to me. I don't think they have to prove that tonight, but it's great to try and get this run continued on, and it's great that they're in this position. And Brian Kerr, I mean, full credit. You know, when an appointment was made, a few questions raised. Certainly in other shores, maybe in the UK, people wouldn't have heard a lot about him. But what he's done is first class. And also, I have to say, since I moved back to Ireland, I've been able to see the work he does at ground level. You know, going around the country to the coaches, giving morale-boosting trips around the country to bring the game on in general. And in fairness, you know, sometimes, you know, people live and die by the results, and that kind of thing doesn't get mentioned enough. But he is. I mean, the man eats, sleeps and breathes Irish soccer, and good luck to him, and hopefully it'll continue again for a long, long time to come.
So the presentation party goes down the line. The Mayor of Dublin, Michael Connaughton, the President of the Croatian FA, Vlatko Markovic, Milo Corcoran of the Football Association of Ireland also in that line. Robbie Keane, the country's leading goal scorer now with 23 goals. Start tonight for Liam Miller, John O'Shea, and there's Stephen Elliott. And at the end of the line is Graham Kavanagh.
Our Minister for Sport was also in the line there. We better give him a mention or he'll get upset, John O'Donoghue. It's nice to see him here tonight, because there has been a bit of friction between sporting body, the FAI, and perhaps government circles. But tonight everything looks good, and hopefully we're all looking forward to a good rosy future.
And after the introductions, time for the playing of the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Irish national anthem will be sung for us by Kieran Nagle and of course played for us by the Garda Band.
So Stephen Elliott's debut comes on a windy night at Lansdowne Road. It's the Republic of Ireland against Croatia. And the scene set for the game as the crowd settle down ahead of this encounter. You can join us for the whole match live after the break.
Let me out. Let me out. Come on. Hey, Mum. Let me out.
I'm bored.
Do you know how long we've been in here?
Introducing the Epson PictureMate. Real photos real easy from any digital camera with a memory card. Free your photos.
To my oldest son, I leave the chateau on the French Riviera. To my only daughter, the Manhattan penthouse. To my youngest son, I bequeath 150 acres of uninhabitable swampland.
Terrible.
The Jeep range starts from $15,750.
All set at Lansdowne Road then. For commentary tonight, Niall Quinn, and first, Rob Hawthorne.
And Stephen Elliott's international debut means that Sunderland owe Manchester City another £50,000. That was part of the agreement when he moved to the Stadium of Light. As well as his international debut, tonight also marks a return to international football for a former colleague of Elliott at Manchester City, Richard Dunne. He hasn't played an international in a year since the victory against Canada, but he's back tonight and he's never let Ireland down in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, Dunne, whenever he pulls on a green jersey, nobody says things like, oh, he's looking overweight, or all the things that are thrown at him at club level. He's given his all. And I have to say, you know, his form this season not only merits selection tonight, but it must be in serious consideration of, you know, putting pressure on the likes of Kenny Cunningham, Gary Breen. Although Kenny, hard act to shift, you know, it's going to be tough for him. But Dunne just wants to do it for his country. He's never let us down before, and he's back in a chance now of you know, putting in a regular run of games.
So 3 days after Irish rugby success here at Lansdowne Road, when they saw off South Africa, it's the football team back in action against Croatia. Ireland 14th in the FIFA rankings, and Croatia only 9 places below them. They've had a good record this calendar year. One of the rare defeats they suffered was to England at Euro 2004. Niko Kovac on the ball then gave them a cracking start in that match with an early lead. This is Babic out on the left, faced by Steve Finnan. And here is Niko Kovac, the elder of the two brothers who both play their football in Germany. Niko and Robert Kovac both used to play at Bayern Munich, but the man in the picture there, Niko, is now with Hertha Berlin. It's Kranjčar. And here's Steve Finnan. This is Gary Breen, only the second international that he has played for Ireland in the last 13 months. Liam Miller. Paddy Kenny in goal. His only previous start was a summer friendly against Jamaica. Here's Breen. Now Robbie Keane. Trying to release Miller. This is Igor Tudor. Now Sirna, the man who's been amongst the goals for Croatia recently, but he didn't provide the service that Thomas was expecting then.
Both sets of teams already, you know, just short of just maybe knocking a few passes together and settling in. They're both a little bit anxious at the moment, giving the ball away.
One back by Thomas. This is Sirna, who risked the pass beyond Keane and found Robert Kovac. Kovac number 4. looking for Ivan Klasnic. And it's back by John O'Shea. Here's Kevin Kilban. Now O'Shea. Away by Tudor, looking for Babbage, but it was Elliott who just nipped across in front of him. Graham Kavanagh. And now Richard Dunn. It's O'Shea. Kilban. Kavanagh. Here's Elliott. Igor Tudor of Juventus, winning his 41st cap tonight. It is a very experienced Croatian side. It's backed by Graham Kavanagh.
I think what's noticeable so far, Rob, only perhaps our two centre-halves, the only two players allowed on the ball. Everybody else seems to be closed down quite quickly, and we can't quite take our time and pick off nice passes, and we're giving it away a little bit. Hopefully we can just work it. I mean, the wind, as we seems to come into it as well. It's a bit of a struggle to get the ball up, but hopefully we'll settle down, knock a few passes around, feel good with the ball with each other, and get into the game. But they're putting a lot of pressure on. They haven't sat back in numbers. They seem to be, going out man to man and making it hard for us.
Finnan. Now Liam Miller. I can think of a lot worse places than Dublin to spend your birthday, although there were no celebrations for Zlatko Grančar, who was 48 yesterday. The coach does field his son in the team tonight. 20-year-old Nico winning his 7th cap. All given away by Dunn, and here's an opportunity for Sirnar. Dunn recovered. The shot is just wide from Nico Grančar.
Well, to me, what's happened there is typical of the first 5 minutes as far as Ireland are concerned. 4 or 5 minutes. It's been a little bit sloppy. Pass has gone astray. Dunn, he got the ball. No real pressure on. He had a pass there to Kavanagh in the middle, but he chose to play the difficult pass out to John O'Shea. It was intercepted, and we've got away with it. And like, two things there. I mean, it shows the Croatians aren't here to mess around. They're in our faces all the time, and we've got to be a little bit sharper now.
Dunn getting away with the early mistake. He's been defending resolutely for Manchester City, which is what's earned him his recall to the Irish team. Particularly outstanding in the derby with Manchester United. Here's Keane. Now Liam Miller. Steve Finnan. Miller again. To spread it to John O'Shea. Tough up ahead of him had made the run. He was checked though by Stepan Tomas.
Yeah, Thomas did well there. He was strong, leaned into Duff at the perfect time, not allowing him to make his run forward.
Here's Grančar. Now Babbage. He's picked out Sirnar well. And O'Shea forced to concede the corner.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to fling it from one wing to the other. I mean, we're only in the game 5-6 minutes, and we've seen 3 or 4 times, that they're willing to change direction. They've a lot of bright ideas so far, but most importantly, I think, from Ireland's point of view, Ireland know they're in a game now. These haven't come to sit back. They're going to have to all work very, very hard now to break this team down, and also to break free and put some good passes in. It hasn't happened yet.
Well, it's Babbage to deliver with the first corner of the game, for which Tudor and Simonic have gone forward. Niko Kovac is in there as well, and it's guided away by Gary Breen.
Well, I think if anybody needs to know what kind of role the wind is playing tonight, that was it, because normally a ball comes in like that to a centre half and it's headed straight out, but Gary seemed to be all over the place trying to get out. And you can see there the way the players' hair's all blowing back on the ones with the few that have long hair. It is difficult. The curl on that ball proves it.
It came towards Tudor, solidly defended though by Dunn. Here's Robert Kovac, last man back for Croatia, finding Dario Sirnar. This is Vranjes. Babic. Tudor. Now Thomas, who plays his club football in Turkey with Galatasaray. Also had a loan spell last season with Fenerbahce. On by Vranjes, but overhit for Thomas.
You know, looking down that last passage of play there, the Croatians knocked it around. It's just the amount of work our three guys in midfield had to get through to stay with them. We are actually affording a little bit of a luxury playing three up front tonight, and if we're not knocking the ball about and winning stuff, it's going to make things really difficult for us. They'll control midfield.
Foul by Kevin Kilban. Sinar has left it for the left footer Babic, who took the previous corner, and will look to deliver a testing ball in there again from this free kick. First test for Paddy Kenny, and he takes it well.
Yeah, did really well there, Paddy Kenny. But it's obvious what he was trying to do. Whip, plenty of pace on it, try and get maybe defender to come across, or even you know, his own attacker through. But it was just to get the slightest touch on it, but it was a little bit too high, and Kenny dealt well with it.
From Vranjes, this is Simunic, who was born in Australia but opted to play for the country of his parents' birth. And here's Thomas, who's actually a Bosnian by birth. Now Sianar. Again, they've given away a free kick in an area from which Babic can test them. John O'Shea culpable this time.
Yeah, funny, the little ball out that we saw from Simunic, which went over Damien Duff's head, that's, you know, because Ireland are playing three in that middle, there was nobody out here in the left wing to challenge immediately, and it's you know, at the moment, I think the way the formations are, it suits the Croatians. They're finding the space in midfield.
Babic to try and put pressure on Kenny again, but Kavanagh gets behind the free kick to head clear.
Yeah, I think it's really important that the first man stands and is very tall in these situations, because you can see what they're attempting to do. They're trying to throw them with as much pace as possible. Kavanagh did really, really well there.
It's Niko Kovac, who was caught by Kevin Kilban and has stayed down.
The referee just popping over to him now to make sure he's okay. Didn't give the foul. I mean, Kevin, I know Kevin, he wouldn't have a dirty bone in his body, you know. I'm sure he's gone for the ball. We'll have a little look at it now. Not great. Did clip him, but I would have thought totally unintentional.
And given the benefit of the doubt by Gylfi Orason, the Icelandic referee. Here's Thomas, on by Kranjčar. Lost possession, won back by Keane. Well, Niko Kovac immediately gets his revenge on Kevin Kilban.
You can see his intent there, but hopefully it won't develop into anything more than that. I think they both smiled at each other at the end of it.
Richard Dunn with the free kick. Here's O'Shea. Now Damien Duff. Kilban. Now Kavanagh. This is Stephen Elliott. Finnan. Run back by Kranjčar. Sianar, and Klasnic was offside.
Most unlike Miller there, the touch wasn't great in midfield, but it kind of sums up the way Ireland have played in this opening period. You know, it's not quite been on the ball. It's just off the pace, just off, you know, the touches aren't great. Just need to get ourselves going together. A couple of people need to you know, just shake themselves a little bit, get going, and understand, you know, that you have to work hard, you have to do the hard stuff to get the good things going.
Well, there are benefits for Brian Kerr of having a Tuesday night friendly. It means he's going to have a busy week because he's off to see the Cyprus-Israel qualifier tomorrow. Keep a check on Israel ahead of Ireland's next qualifier, next two qualifiers in fact, away in March and June here. This is Duff. Now Breen. Forced back by Kranjčar. Wind holding up the clearance on by Miller. This is Elliott. And again Elliott. Dealt with by Simonic. Tudor looking to hit it long, and it's cleared by Steve Finnan. Away by Simonic. It's Kavanagh this time. Now Robert Kovac, who only linked up with his international colleagues during their training session here last night. Most of the rest of the squad have been here since Sunday. Trained twice yesterday. It was Miller who found Elliott. Kilban looking to get underneath it, challenging with Vranjes. Cleared by Simonic. Back in by O'Shea. Cleared by Tudor. Done. Siena. Tudor stepping away from the threat of Keane. Given away though to Finnan. Under pressure from Babic.
Both sides seem to be giving it away quite cheaply at the moment. I think the crowd tried earlier on. They got going there a second ago. They rallied, but still a little bit flat. Players.
There's Finnan. On by Elliott. Now Robbie Keane. Here's Dunn. Looking for the run of Damien Duff. It's Thomas away. Now Tudor trying to pick out Niko Kovac. Kavanagh steps in. Robert Kovac didn't deal with it, but Robbie Keane had come back from an offside position anyway.
Yeah, Robbie was offside, but Kavanagh did really well. I think the crowd enjoyed it. It was the first bit of aggression, perhaps, to win the ball that we've seen tonight. He's been a little bit unlucky, really. That he's never put a foot wrong. Certainly, at the start of this campaign, and I know he hasn't let Brian carry on as he never did Mick McCarthy. He's a very dependable player.
Here's Thomas. Now Igor Tudor, who's been linked with a move to Newcastle in weekend newspaper reports. Offside flag up here. Krasnic offside. Only 26 years of age, Igor Tudor, but already over 40 caps and a Champions League final appearance to his name.
Yeah, I mean, he's by far the most experienced player I would imagine on the field here. Newcastle would be a great move, I'm sure, for them. There's something, though, that tells me already in the first opening minutes that the way to play him tonight is probably to get Damien Duff up there to run him. He looks quite controlled. Anything that's come up in the air there, or anything in front of him, he looks okay. But maybe the way to get by him is perhaps through Damien's wizardry. Run him.
Krasnic trying to dig it out. Vranjes aiming to release Babic. Just had too much on it. Difficult to judge in this wind.
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's playing havoc really at times. Once or twice I know Damien Duff looked at the ball. He seemed to be backing off to think it was coming to him, and it came nowhere near him, Something the players are going to have to deal with. I'm sure Ireland will look more comfortable with the wind in their backs second half, but they've got to deal with and cope with everything at this moment in time now.
Kenny in trouble reaching the halfway line with his clearances, such as the gusting wind. Niko Kovac. It's Thomas. Finnan looking to set Robbie Keane away, slipped in behind Kovac, who recovers. Keane looks to try and take it around him. Miller there on the follow-up. Tudor leapt in.
Yeah, it was a lovely timed run by Robbie.
Now Elliott, and he's found Robbie Keane. Tries to get around Thomas. He claims that there was a touch of the hand from the defender.
I think you'll find there was, but to me it looked accidental. He'd made the interception, so it was a lively moment for Ireland. Got the crowd going. We'll just look at it here. Well done, Elliott. Did very well. Nips it by here, and as he comes down, yes, The hand comes very close to it, but it would have been harsh to give that one.
Well, Robbie Keane was really pretty much relying on the assistant referee's view of that.
It was a bright moment. Started earlier with Keane's great run. And as it was cleared, Ireland got the ball back, and Elliott did very well to create the opening for Robbie.
It's taken more than a quarter of an hour for Ireland to produce their most promising moment of the match, but this man Elliott was involved in it, and he's growing into the game now. The Sunderland youngster, he's got over the inevitable nerves and apprehension on making your senior debut.
Absolutely, it's a huge thing, it's a huge step up, but he looked very composed to me, certainly, in the pre-match routines, everything looked fine, and he's settled in nicely. He's got a nice touch about him, he's controlled one or two quite nice. He's off and running.
Here's Kranjčar, now Sierna. It's Thomas, lay off by Klasnic. Sierna again, now Niko Kovac. This is Babic. Robert Kovac. Igor Tudor. Sierna turns on it, and Breen heads it away.
Dunny ended up making the clearance, but Breen, I think, did the right thing. I know Paddy Kenny was coming, but in this swirling wind, your centre half, the ball's coming to your head. No matter what the shout is, get it out if you can.
Tudor. Klasnic was coming back from an offside position. Was this a handball from Thomas?
You look at it here, Ellie did ever so well. Oh, might have just brushed on it. Did it deflect the flat of the ball? You'll probably see better from this ending if it did deflect the flat of the ball. Ooh, slight little touch, but I think it was momentum carrying them through which brought him near, and it would have been a very harsh penalty. I certainly think the Irish fans would have been gutted if it had been given down the other end.
Well, he would have argued that he put his hand down to break the fall, and the ball just happened to be there. Stefan Thomas, the man at the centre of that incident. Tonight actually a return to the international fold for him. He was sent home before the last friendly against Israel for having the temerity to use a private physiotherapist. Here's Kavanagh. Now Miller. It's Finnan who's got forward. Plenty to do though, with Babic there making life difficult for him, but he's won a corner.
Yeah, did very well there, Stephen. And then again, didn't seem to be going anywhere. The ball was slightly overhit, but he worked ever so hard to get a corner. And really now, this is perhaps one of Ireland's strengths. To see Breen and Dunn going up, two big lads. Hopefully they can test the Croatian defence.
Well, it hasn't really been a serious test for Tomislav Batina, the Croatian goalkeeper. They've taken the short corner, and it's Damien Duff! Narrowly wide.
Yeah, first glimpse of Damien that we've seen, we know we can do. They only sent one man out to stop the short corner. Robbie gave it back to Damien just before this happened, and then he drops his shoulder, does what he does best. A man, he's playing out of his skin at the moment, playing at a club that's flying. You know, he really is. He's just looking for every opening, and hopefully now we'll see more of that.
Well, he's due an international goal, Damien Duff. Hasn't had one in a year. And if there is a complaint to be levelled at him with Ireland, it could be that he hasn't scored as many as maybe he should.
You're on dangerous ground over here giving out about Damien Duff, Rob. He's the apple of everybody's eye. And how he's matured in the last couple of years. When he first burst on the scene, after every run he made, he'd bend over, he'd take about 2 minutes gulping air to get back in, but he's strengthened up marvellously well now.
Here's Kilban. Couldn't quite get it through to Keane, who'd managed to stay on side. This is Elliott. Miller was free, but not the ball that he'd wanted, or I'm sure that Elliott intended. Niko Kovac. Here's O'Shea. Tudor. Here's Robert Kovac. Now Sirna, back from Vranjes. Igor Tudor, it's casual from him. Elliott pokes it forward first time. He's in here. It's Robbie Keane. Well, Butina just flung his arms at it and got enough on it.
Yeah, it was one of those ones, 1-on-1. Great ball through. It was a defensive mistake, but well spotted straight away. Good run by Robbie, and we all fancied him to knock this one away. Keeper stood up, was big and tall, didn't go to ground, and that was the difference. When he's hitting the target with the chance, just see it there. I think he was expecting the goalkeeper to come flying down at his feet. Just brushed his shoulder, and a great chance missing, but it's good. It's got the crowd going. I think Robbie is the type of player now, he won't let that affect him. And well done, Stephen Elliott.
Duff's corner. Away by Simunic. Now Liam Miller. It's Duff again. Taking on Vranjes. He's past him. Can he pull it back? Keane! This time it's in. 1-0 Ireland.
Absolutely fantastic. What Damien Duff has done to create that goal is pure wizardry. Out of nothing. International world-class defenders left trailing in his wake, and he's provided his great pal with a tap-in goal. Just have a look here as it's cleared. Doesn't look a lot on as the ball goes back to Damien. Everyone's thinking he's going to end up crossing this into the box, but just watch this. Two guarding him. See you later, guys. Comes in, and then what a lovely ball across the goal. Robbie actually did well. It was a little bit behind him, and that's the strength of the man. After what we could describe a bad miss a second earlier, there you go. That's not going to bother me. I'm going to stick that in, and well done. Great stuff for Ireland. It took the two of Brian Kerr's crown jewels to make it happen.
Two who've come through from Brian Kerr's days in charge of the youth setup of Ireland. Crenshaw! And Croatia close to a sudden equaliser.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, we've seen nothing for 20-24 minutes, and then we see a goal, and then we see this. What looked a straight ball that Ireland have dealt with comfortably all night. It's onside, puts a little floating ball into the box, and it's their midfielder who's coming into the fray quicker than ours. And to be quite honest, he should be hitting the target there. Hasn't missed by much, it's a let-off.
Well, the coach's son still hasn't scored his first international goal. It's his 7th attempt to do so, and it was a good chance. Here's Elliott. And he's got Keane away again. Keane looking for Duff this time.
What a shame. Bright, intelligent play again by Elliott to set Keane off, and that's once or twice Robbie's got through. Augurs well.
Challenge by Dunn to stop Crenshaw breaking free.
Yeah, Dunny's coming alive now. He's back to himself. Little blip early on. He looks determined now.
Babic. It's beyond the reach of Niko Kovac.
See Robbie there, another goal for him, but just watch it again. This is where it happens. I mean, there looks absolutely nothing on, and yet he fools two of probably international class defenders, and Robbie gets the side foot to put it home, but he'll be thanking his pal Damien for that. Just pure magic.
24th international goal now for Robbie Keane. His 10th in 16 games.
Yeah, and all under Brian Kerr, those 10 goals. I mean, it's fantastic. Brian had him as a kid, knows him inside out, and whatever he's doing with him as a senior player, he's really turning on the style since Brian got in charge.
It's Tudor. Done. That's Kavanagh. Now Crenshaw. Vranjes. Thomas. Now Crenshaw. Vranjes. Sirnar being forced out wide by O'Shea and Kavanagh. O'Shea wins it. Duff. Miller. Duff. It's Miller. Now Finnan. Here's Niko Kovac. O'Shea.
Great skill. He was upended there. Really another sort of product of Ireland's youth system over the years. John O'Shea does ever so well here. So calm.
Like Stephen Elliott tonight, John O'Shea actually made his full international debut against Croatia. Not that it's one he'll care to remember too fondly, because he gave away a penalty late on which cost Ireland the game after they'd led 2-0. And they ended up drawing 2-2 thanks to Shukair's last-minute penalty. Clearance by Igor Tudor. Here's Richard Dunn. It's Kilban looking to unleash Damien Duff, but it's just wide of him.
Yeah, the idea was right. I think the wind just came into play there and the ball drifted out of touch. But if they don't know about Damien Duff, and I'm sure they did beforehand, they know all about him now. They look nervous as hell when he gets near the ball.
Clearance more by luck than judgment from Breen, but Babic is there. And here's Simunic. Breen getting in tight on Klasnic. Here's Finnan. Offside this time, Robbie Keane.
Yeah, he did look over his shoulder, and I think it was Thomas here who was a yard or two up, but Thomas got out of there in time. You just have a look. Robbie looks over his shoulder here, and then Thomas just steps up and plays him off.
Kovac. Now Thomas. Back from Sirnar. Thomas trying to pull it across. Blocked by Duff. This could present a problem for Ireland. Tudor forward.
Yeah, and once again Babic will try and swing it in with all the pace he can. His left foot.
Tudor trying to rescue it. But it's cleared by Duff. Sirnar. This is Babic. Looking to hit one in. Gets too much on it though. Well, Croatia unbeaten in their last 4 matches, which includes a victory over Sweden, who are actually playing tomorrow against Scotland, and you can see that live on Sky Sports 1 from 7 o'clock. Dario Sirnar was the man who scored in that win over Sweden, 1-0, which has helped Croatia to maintain an unbeaten record in their World Cup qualifying group. They're actually 2 points behind Sweden in Group 8, but only by virtue of the fact that Sweden have played a game more. Clearance from Kenny comes straight back at him from Sirnar. Here's O'Shea. Now Kavanagh. Miller. Here's Vranjes.
All Croatia's attempts at closing down and working hard in this game. They really haven't come to terms with the fact they're playing with them in. So many balls they've overhit now, gone straight over the defence and their own players' heads, and Paddy Kenny's had an easy time of it up to now.
Done. Vranjes. There's Thomas. Vranjes. Kilban gets away from Vranjes. Thomas coming back as well. And Keane makes his move, but makes it too early. He's offside.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing there, Robbie, because it was obvious that there was only one ball for Kev to play, and he surely had to hold his ground as long as he could. You see, Kev does ever so well. I mean, typical Kev Kilban stuff. The defender was just a little bit too cute for him there, as you can see, allowed him to go into that space. But brilliant work from Kilban.
It's Miller. Now Simunic. Done underneath the kick. Here's Elliott. Here's Kilban. And he's away. No, he's offside. Duff.
It looked tight enough. The linesman seems fairly happy about his decision. Oh, never in a million years. Very unlucky there, Damien. It was causing some problems.
Well, it is the deadly duo that's unlocked Croatia. Duff, the creator, Keane, the finisher. O'Shea easing Cerna out of the way. Kilban. Cerna brings Kevin Kilban down. Dunn goes long, looking to get in. Duff around the back, cleared though by Thomas, and then Vranjes. It's Finnan. Simunic. This is Niko Kovac. Back by Kranjčar, it's Babic.
A wild slash really, that one, but it's interesting. Croatia seem to get good possession midway towards our goal, maybe in our half, and they run out of ideas. You know, it's happened time and time again when they've been on good possession, maybe playing one up front. You know, Krasic, there isn't a lot on for them, but there doesn't seem to be a lot happening from midfield. I mean, for me, Kovac is the only one that seems to get run in behind him. When he picks the ball up, he hasn't had a lot to aim for, and I think there's a little bit of frustration crept into their play just now.
Here's Thomas. O'Shea. Now Kavanagh. He's got it beyond Thomas, but 2-0 there covering against Duff. Well won back though by Kilban. Kavanagh.
Nearly opened up again there for Damien. But it was good, you know, Ireland were hunting in packs there. They were hungry. All good signs.
Kavanagh. He's on the free kick. Duff plays it in. Breen hooks it back in, looking for Dunn. O'Shea.
It was a chance. Earned perhaps more from the desire to get into position, as I think Big Dunny did. As you see, it comes back in here from Gary Breen. Dunny tries his hardest to get in front of it, drops to John, and I tell you, if he just dropped his shoulder as he was hitting that, it might have been better to hit it into the ground, but he is a defender, we let him off.
He'd have earned 3 points for that here on Saturday. There's Kavanagh. Here's Keane. Now Duff. O'Shea. Seeing his frustration getting the better of him, but referee quite right. He'd moved forward a fair few yards then.
Well, that's right. I mean, glad the referee just had a smile that he didn't go over and book him or anything like that.
Here's Kranchar looking to release Cernard straight away.
You just get the impression that maybe playing with the wind will suit these better, because everything's been overhit on the ground, everywhere else, and maybe with the wind holding it up in the second half, they might pose a bigger threat in behind us. They certainly haven't coped well with the wind so far.
Well, Cernard is the one whose frustration has shown signs of getting the better of him. The referee's just had a quiet word with him, actually, to tell him to keep his temper in check. Again, Kenny this time doesn't get near even the centre circle. Such are the difficulties that the conditions are causing the goalkeeper. Bring it out a bit further this time. Branyesh underneath it. It's Breen. Tudor. Kilban. It's O'Shea. Now Duff. Mistake by Tudor. Keane angles it through. And away by Robert Kovac.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Damien seemed to be so far away, yet he can still make up the ground. Robbie did real well. It dropped for him nicely. And very nearly played Damien in, but don't they work well together?
Here they go again, the deadly duo. Keane and Duff. It's the short routine, this time lined up for Keane to turn creator. And it's behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. I think it was obvious there. I mean, the Croatia haven't learned from their lesson early on. Again, one man, I think it was Simonic rather, came out to deal with the corner. I mean, Damien Duff and Robbie Keane are about. You don't want to go 2 in 1 of those situations.
Actually, your old international colleague Tony Cascarino was making an interesting point this week about the death of striking partnerships as such, bemoaning the fact that most are a duo who play as individuals. How do you see Keane and Duff?
Well,
as a duo?
They understand each other really well. Now, Damien plays a lot out on the left. He hasn't played that often up front with Robbie, but when they have, they both know instantly what the other one is doing, and I think that's the key to a good partnership. Any successful times I've had, probably most notably with Kev Phillips, it was because as the ball was approaching, he knew what was happening, what the other one was going to do. And it's only a split-second thing, but if you have it as a duo, it works wonders, and I think these two guys, regardless of where Damien plays, they seem to have an understanding of what the other one is doing.
And that almost telepathic understanding has helped to conjure the only goal of the match so far for Ireland. Duff's wizardry set it up. Keane's deadly finish rounding it off. It's back from Babic. Simonic. Now Robert Kovac. It's Dunn's header. Tackle by Kavanagh. Tudor. Thomas failing in his attempt to keep it in.
Must be frustrating for a manager. I've just seen him here in the line turn around to his bench and discuss a simple little thing like that. Top class player. Just when you're not at it, I tell you, you get punished and you end up getting beaten. Hope I'm right.
back by Kilban. Here's O'Shea. Now Duff. Cleared by Tudor. Sernar and Kilban, ever combative.
Yeah, they started off early on and it's kept going. But I think we've been unlucky there, Kev. We showed great zealous to get to the ball, and the referee this time sided with the Croatian.
Tomas putting Vranjes under a bit of pressure. Tudor has given it away. Now Finnan. This is Miller. Finnan looking to find Robbie Keane, but the flag up against him once more.
Yeah, it's a few times now that's happened to Robbie. And you know, looking at the way the game has gone, it seems to be Robbie all the time. We just look at it here, he's only half a yard off. Had he been a touch sharper, then he might have been okay. But perhaps once or twice, I like maybe if Stephen Elliott was getting in that position. He seems to be playing more a role of a provider tonight. He's dropping a little bit deeper and trying to get Robbie in. I'd like to see maybe if we can afford to push him on a bit, and maybe he's the one that breaks the offside trap, because he's done it time and time again this season with Sunderland.
Babic. Now Kavanagh. Kranjčar applying the pressure for Croatia. Here's Simunic. Now Vranjes. It slips beneath the boot of Niko Kovac. Hurried clearance though from Breen. Tomas. Tudor. Tomas. Sernar's cross is blocked by Richard Dunn. Felt the force of that. It's Kranjčar. Now Keane. Duff pulling back at Tomas.
Yeah, it might be the referee's last game, but he's sharp. He was sprinting alongside Damien there, saw it, he's reached out his left hand and was just holding the defender off.
Sernar slipped. It's O'Shea. And back from Kavanagh. Well, no added time, and Ireland leading at the break thanks to the famous combination of Duff and Keane. Duff, the provider, with a bit of wizardry to shake off two defenders. The pullback for Robbie Keane, who'd had one saved just previously, but didn't miss with that opportunity just before the 25-minute mark. And at the break at Lansdowne Road, it's the Republic of Ireland 1, Croatia 0.
So we'll call that business as usual here at Lansdowne Road. Substitution for Croatia here at the break. Let's rejoin Niall Quinn and Rob Hawthorne for confirmation of that.
I think Aston Villa fans will probably remember this man, a man who was a misfit during his time at Villa Park, failing to score in his 2 years there, Bosco Balaban. And at £6 million, he turned out to be an expensive mistake. But he's on in this second half for Igor Tudor. He's done well with his goal scoring at international level. 6 in 18 games, scored in a third of the internationals he's played, although 3 of them occurred early on in his career against Latvia.
Yeah, interesting substitution. I wonder, does it mean he'll go 3 at the back? Tudor being a central defender who's come off. I guess he will, because quite frankly, I mean, they might have had a good zest for the early part of the game, but they've been quite awful.
So Balaban on for Igor Tudor. Balaban's playing his club football in Belgium now, incidentally, with Bruges, where again he seems to have picked up the pieces of his career. 9 goals in 13 league matches for them this season. And now to offer extra support to Ivan Klasnic of Werder Bremen. The two of them get the second half underway for a Croatian side trailing to Robbie Keane's first half goal. A goal that occurred in the 24th minute as Ireland exploded into life thanks to Duff and Key.
I think what we have to watch for now is if we maintain our 3 players as forward as we are, we're virtually 3 against 3 up there. But what that also means is that there's one more player in that midfield area, and that they may get even a better stranglehold of the game in that middle. There should be lots of jerseys in that middle of the park, but it may give us the chance that there'll be gaps up there, and we can use the win better, say, than they did in the first half, because there was non-event every time they got the ball going forward, bar one.
Here's Kranjčar, back from Klasnic. Now Babic. Clearance by Finnan. Tomas, Niko Kovac and Simunic now playing as the 3 at the back for Croatia. Babic and Cerna on the other side out wide. Balaban, in the assistant referee's judgment, keeping it in despite the appeals from the Irish bench. That's Niko Kovac trying to find Cerna, but Duff kept his eye on it and controlled it well. Here's Kilban, now O'Shea. Given away to Cerna. Here's Balaban. And he's free here, Balaban. Dunn concedes a corner.
Yeah, Dunny got back well there, and the chance had opened. You see now, probably went to sleep a little bit, but did well in the end to get back and prevent the cross. But straight away, you can tell the way they've knocked it about in this opening couple of minutes. They look so much more comfortable with their formation this time.
It's Babic with the corner. Kavanagh didn't deal with it. Oh, and off the line, Liam Miller clearing from Balaban's shot from the angle. Balaban looking to turn it back across.
Different class there by Liam Miller. Just shows you the value of the player, not just taking for granted the ball was going to be cleared. He held his ground and was in the perfect position.
Here's Robert Kovac storming forward, testing Kenny. And the flag was up anyway, but Gary Breen wasn't to know that and defended well against the rebound from Babic.
Yeah, just little warning signs there once again. Watch the first chance here, comes across, bounce in the box. Just look at the position Miller holds. Everybody else had run out, but he holds his position, did his job fantastically well. Could have been easy for him to run out there. It was in the back of the net only for him.
Well, Miller did well with the clearance. Balaban did well actually to get it through from that angle as well, because it looked as though it was sailing into the net until his intervention. And Babic, who was offside when he went for the rebound, got caught by Gary Breen anyway, and is now off the field with Croatia temporarily down to 10 men. Here's Robert Kovac, who caused the confusion that finally led to the Babic injury. It was his shot that was pushed out by Paddy Kenny. Cerna has won the throw. Now here's Niko Kovac. Klasnic, going rather too easily. It's Cerna. Cleared by Dunn.
They've only 10 men on the pitch now, Robin. There's knocking about so much better. They just all feel more comfortable in this formation. It's amazing expression. You come in, it's like a new team have come out and played this half.
Surprisingly, it's back to the wall for Ireland at the moment, although Robert Kovac nearly giving it away to Elliott. Has given it away now to Kilban. Here's Duff. Duff trying to win a penalty, and the referee says no.
In fairness to the ref, he wasn't that far away. He kept up the play well. Be interesting to see on the replay. He seemed to get caught in sandwich between the two players. In fairness, he didn't protest that much.
Here's Balaban. Babic is back on. Croatia back up to strength. And they're looking for Babic from that long crossfield ball that's picked him out. Simovic. Babic. Krasnic. Kranjčar. Breen in trouble against Babic. Acrobatics from Paddy Kenny.
Yes, he did well. Big smile on his face there. It was an important clearance. If he'd have sat and waited for the ball, might have been trouble, but he saw the danger straight away. Quite spectacularly cleared it. Just have a look at the incident here. I think he'd got himself in between two. There might have been contact, but there was certainly no slashing of his legs from what I could see.
Just looking to get in again here, and no back pass.
It will be interesting to see that one again, because I felt sure the goalkeeper had to head it to clear it. He took the chance of catching it, and the referee seemed to agree with him.
Now Kranjčar's looking to break free. Dunn manages to hold him off. Kilban. Arm raised from Vranjes, straight into the face of Kilban.
Yeah, free kick there, but Richard Dunn did ever so well. And we watched this incident here. Ball played forward by John O'Shea. Well, is that a back pass or is it an attempted clearance?
Well, the referee judged it to be the latter. Substitution here with Gary Breen, who got involved in that tangle with Babic. He's limping off and being replaced by Kenny Cunningham.
Yeah, he's suffered a few injuries, Gary. He's got his cap again tonight. He's back in business as far as Ireland concerned. But this here now is a man who I think controls Ireland's defensive destiny, certainly, in terms that he marshals them, he calls them, he talks them, and when he's out on that pitch, Ireland looks so much stronger.
Well, he looks as though he's carried out the instruction that they need to switch back to 4-4-2 here, having set themselves out as 4-3-3 for most of this match so far. But things have changed with Croatia's alteration to their system in the second period.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious. It was beginning to look like it was going to go end-to-end stuff, and Ireland don't need to do that. And certainly if they're using this game to look forward to World Cup games, there's no way they're going to go to end-to-end stuff. They've got to protect what they've built in the first 4 World Cup matches, and I'm sure Brian just saw the warning signals there, sent Kenny on with the message across, let's get back to what we know best.
There's a slight back injury for Gary Breen. Keane's offside here.
Not so much in it this time. It can be a little bit frustrating, Robbie. One of his strengths is getting on defenders' shoulders and rolling them, but tonight, once or twice his time, it hasn't quite been there.
Majority, I would reckon, of those offsides against Ireland have been against Robbie Keane, who's now up front with Stephen Elliott. Duff staying out wide on the left, Miller on the right, and Kilban and Kavanagh in the middle.
Yeah, and I think this will suit Stephen Elliott much better as well. I mean, he's a player who's been asked to do a strange role in his first full international, but I hope now he's given the time and the service that we'll see doing it where he likes it best, in around the box, losing people, getting into good areas. The fox in the box, he was called during the week.
It's Duff who's got it across. Miller was looking to arrive in the box in time then. It's cleared though by Simovic.
Yeah, there's a better feel already. It's only been a second or two since we changed formation, but already you get the feeling that certainly the crowd are happier with it. But our players look happier too.
Here's the setup with which Ireland are most familiar. Dunn forward for the corner. Here's Kavanagh. Back to Duff. Kavanagh. Duff. Takes a tumble. Niko Kovac, the guilty party, helps him back onto his feet. Lay off by Keane. This is Dunn. Here's Vranjes. Simovic. Away with that against Elliott, for now at least. Here's Kilban. O'Shea. Duff. And he works it through to O'Shea. Sierna gets back. Tried to shepherd it out. It was a huge risky took, and O'Shea was never about to give up on it.
But the referee did really well there, because there's no doubt about it, the defender was definitely looking for the free kick, but he was right on the spot again, the referee.
Dunn's header forward, and Keane just couldn't bring it down.
A little bit unlucky, just out of his grasp.
Niko Kovac turned into trouble there with Kavanagh, and it's Miller, and it's Elliott. Robert Kovac coming back under pressure from Elliott. Babic, blocked by Miller, keeps the pressure up, and he's done brilliantly, Liam Miller. Space here, Duff! And the goalkeeper, diving at his feet, manages to claw it away.
Well, Miller did ever so well there, and Damien was unlucky, but there's been a great change in Ireland's approach in the last couple of minutes. They've been terrier-like.
Miller's cross, headed away, and he did Duff! Side netting.
And as a result, the chances are coming. But it's great, after an indifferent first few minutes in this half, the system's been changed, and the players again, they look really, really comfortable with it. And Miller showed great leadership, great tenacity to get chances out of nothing there. Twice in a row he was able to do it. We see him here, does ever so well when there didn't look to be anything on for him. Picked out Damien really well. Keeper got a hand to it. And even after that stage, the ball came out. Once again, Miller was there, creating another chance.
Here's Miller again. Elliott. Keane. And Robbie Keane getting right across the front of the goalkeeper, who's backpedaling. Couldn't quite feed it across to Elliott.
He was unlucky. He did brilliant work there, Robbie Keane. Again, out of nothing, created a chance, and just the defender's intervention stopped perhaps the opening goal of young Stephen Elliott's career.
Well, they're working really doggedly from the front line, Ireland, to keep the Croatians pressed back.
Yeah, and like the first 10 minutes of this half, the Croatians seem to have things going all their own way. They look comfortable, their set-up formation suited the game better, but Brian Kerr made the switch, and our players have come good. They really look as if they're more comfortable doing this. I just hope there won't be times when he has to use that old formation. I hope things are going strong enough in our remaining World Cup games that he won't have to go gung-ho and try and play with a three up front.
There's Kavanagh. Finnan. This is Miller. Now Finnan. Elliott just trying to hook it through. Away by Simunic.
Stephen, everything he's done tonight, it's been bright, intelligent. You know, he hasn't had the opportunity to get in on goal, he hasn't had a sniff of it yet, but maybe that's to come. But he can be fairly happy with his performance so far.
Well, Croatia introducing two new caps. Babic has gone off to be replaced by Daniel Pranjic of Dinamo Zagreb, who wins his first cap. And the other player coming off is Klasnic, and taking his place is a Brazilian-born Croatian national, Eduardo da Silva, who, like Pranjic, also plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Away by Robert Kovac.
To say at times he's looked really fuffled. He's made a hash of quite a number of clearances tonight.
Second ball's just been cleared off the pitch, delaying Finnan taking the throw. Here's Kavanagh. Now O'Shea. Sierna stepping in well. Looking to release Bosco Balaban. Dunn, though, has that covered. Sierna's boot raised.
first bit of attacking play we've seen from the Croatians in quite a while, but Richard Dunn was alert to it. And I have to say, he's come into this game after maybe a sluggish opening few minutes, but he's looked really, really well. Another good game under his belt so far.
Here's Niko Kovac. Kranjčar. Now Pranjic. Niko Kovac. Through from Kranjčar, Finnan in the way. Here's Simic. Closed down by Elliott. Well, they're not giving them any time to settle. Duffin so tight then on Stefan Tomas. Vranjes looking for De Silva with a cross. It's Cunningham away. It's Pranjic coming in. But no threat to Paddy Kenny's goal from that.
Yeah, it was a nice ball flung into the box, but Kenny Cunningham was alert to it. Got the touch that was needed. You can see him there. He doesn't walk away. He wants to find out what went wrong, how we can deal with it better the next time. Real mark of a class defender.
Kenny Cunningham has now overtaken Gary Breen again in terms of caps. 63rd cap tonight. Not too many Ireland defenders ahead of him now in terms of appearances for their country.
He'll do well, I think, to match Steve Staunton's.
Yeah, it's over 100 for him, isn't it?
Great career Steve had, but it's there for them. I mean, you know, there's no reason to say you can't see anything coming to a close. Kenny's got a lot of time left in him. In 96, I think he made his debut, 8 years. I think Stan played for about 20.
Well, he's 33 now, Kenny Cunningham. Here's Kranjčar. Vranjes. Now here's Sirna. Behind Vranjes and cleared by Steve Finnan. England and Germany, the only countries to beat Croatia in this calendar year. But Ireland 2/3 of the way through this one, on the brink of inflicting another defeat on them.
Just before this passage of play, young Stephen Elliott pulled one out of the sky in the high wind, took it down, jinked it past the player and knocked it out to his fullback. I mean, I think he showed real maturity. He does not look like a player who's come in here for the first time tonight, and I think that's as good a compliment really as you can give anyone on their first cap. He's fitted in quite well. Brian Kerr knows he's added to his ever-growing list of young players eager and desperate and good enough to play for their country.
Here's Kranjčar. Offside flag up here against De Silva. Well, Stephen Elliott is the 45th different player used by Brian Kerr in his reign as Ireland manager. It'll be 2 years in January since his appointment, and Ireland have come on leaps and bounds in that time, and he perhaps doesn't have the credit he deserves for that. Here's Robbie Keane. And Bettina dives at his feet again to deny him.
Yes, it opened up with him with really a punch from the free kick, went right over the top, and Robbie kept his eye on it brilliantly. The goalkeeper hadn't come. He took it down his chest, but the goalkeeper at that time came out and made himself big again. Prevented him similarly in the first half. Same there.
Simic. Aimed for Sirna. It got beyond O'Shea to him. O'Shea, though, stands his ground. The Croatians intend to make another change here.
We just have a look at here. Pretty aimless free kick in some ways. Caught the defender out. But once Robbie made a really good run, beat the offside trap, but the keeper made himself big again. Just crept away from a little bit from the chest, but understandable in the wind and the length of the ball that came. And the goalkeeper just foiled him again.
So here's the Croatian substitution, and Jurica Vranjes of Stuttgart is coming off, and on in his place comes Ivan Leko of Malaga to win his 5th cap. And the other change sees Tomas coming off,
second substitution for Croatia,
And Mario Tokic is coming on instead of him. Tokic, who plays his club football with AK Graz, actually scored in their Champions League qualifying win at Anfield back in August, though they lost the tie on aggregate. Here's Leko for his first touch. Now Pranjic, one of the previous substitutes, introduced. 6 they're allowed, by the way. Now Siminic. Here's Siena. Dunn lost out to Kranjčar. Now Kilban. Keane. This is Damien Duff. Kilban seems to have a problem at the moment. He's just pulled up. This is Finnan. Kavanagh. Finnan. Not sure whether Kilban might have taken a blow to the ribs. He seems to have been winded. Here's Balaban. Now Kovac. It's Kranjčar. Here's Siena. He's got 4 over to his left, and it's Dunn who meets it.
Yeah, nice break there from the Croatians. Big bodies pouring into the box, but Dunny stood firm. We look at it here. Maybe Damien crept a little bit far forward, allowing the space in behind him. Opted for a cross probably a little bit early in my book, but Dunny was there to cover whatever.
See on the flag the impact the wind is still having as De Silva bends his corner in towards Siminic. Leko hits it, doesn't get through the crowd. O'Shea has to try and clear. And Niko Kovac's persistence didn't go down too well with the referee, who gives Ireland the free kick.
Yeah, the ball bobbled about there. Worrying moment or two, but again, defence held firm. We watch it coming in here. The header gets knocked down. Good swing from the substitute, and it's at that point where the ball can bobble anywhere. But John O'Shea did very well. Stood up tall, cleared the ball, and got the free kick.
Despite the fact Kovac had hold of his shirt. Here's O'Shea. Kavanagh. Keane. It's Finnan. What a chance for Duff! Off the underside of the crossbar! He can't believe that stayed out.
Oh, I can't believe he didn't head the ball. I think everybody in the ground was expecting to head this in, back where it came from in the far corner. We watch it here. Wonderful play. Great ball out by Keane. Super cross. Goes into a great position. Went for the control and the quick snapshot. And he's unlucky. It's hit the crossbar. Great play by Ireland. Damien, I don't know. Would he have been better heading it?
Well, Duff and Ireland unlucky. Here's De Silva. Picked away by Dunn. Kranjčar made the most of the fall. Kavanagh.
Here's Damien again. I mean, it was great build-up play as we watch it again. As it comes here, he could have gone to head it. It could have been a right foot side volley. He opted for the choice of taking it down and slotting it in. Just crept away from slightly, got a quick poke at it, and he is unlucky. It would have been a fantastic goal had it gone in.
Foul by Dunn, close to the edge of the box. It's Leko who's lined it up to deliver. Siminic is there, so too De Silva. Balaban in attendance as well. Niko Kovac there as Ireland maintain a line across the edge of Kenny's 6-yard box, and it's pulled back to Siena anyway. Too many bodies for it to get through, cleared by Kavanagh.
Yeah, once again the defence stood firm. Not maybe so well that the shot was allowed to go in the first place, but they reacted brilliantly once the free kick had been taken.
Controlled by Cranchar, who's linked up well with De Silva. Here is De Silva, and then fouls Kenny Cunningham.
Yeah, since De Silva's come on, things have been threaded in, and 1 or 2 balls going across the box that he's trying to deflect, get players in there, you see it. And once again he was trying to get out. Could have been a dangerous moment, but Cunningham was in the right place at the right time.
Offside. Who else? Robbie Keane.
Yeah, just made that run a little bit early. You know, he doesn't need to. You can just see it there. It's just that half a yard, time and time again. He's so keen and anxious to get there. Just maybe needs to take a yard or 2 towards the defender as he's kicking it, to shift the defender towards him. And I'm not a great one to talk. It wasn't a skill that I could do. But it's something that's well within his capabilities.
There's De Silva. Now Leko. It's Pranjic. It's against Finnan. Now Miller comes in. Elliott. Simunic takes him down.
Miller did well there to prevent any danger. And there's Elliott again. Did nothing wrong, did well, earned aside the free kick there. He's looked very, very comfortable, I have to say.
This one of 2 friendlies to bridge the 5-month gap between the competitive internationals for Ireland. I'm sure the match against Portugal in February will be more geared towards finding the right team for that Israel match, and Brian Kerr may be less inclined to give fringe players an opportunity, bearing in mind, of course, who's available.
Yeah, and it's a game, you know, it's because it's so close to the World Cup qualifiers that, you know, it's more important that you probably get it right in that night, that you go out of that game with your mind really clear about your approach to the next game. So it is a very important friendly.
Charles' corner goes across, cleared by Kilban, only to Leko. It's Sierna who plays it across. Leko. Cleared in the end by Finnan after Kavanagh's initial block. Pranjic can't keep it in. Croatia to use their final substitute. Mato Neretlak is the player coming on here. Simunic is replaced. Neretlak, who won the Croatian League title last year with Hajduk Split. Here's Elliott. Now Miller. Blocked by Kovac. It's Balaban. Now Neretlak. Finnan. Elliott trying to help it on. And Miller coming in to take over. Here's Duff. Miller. Shea just couldn't keep it in. It's done. Kilban. Duff. Duff's won a free kick.
He's so hard to mark, isn't he? I mean, again, looked to be doing nothing then, but he's got himself and his team a free kick in a very dangerous area.
O'Shea and Dunn and Kilban all good in the air. It's Miller who takes, away by Lecco. It's Kavanagh.
Unlucky, worth the shot at this stage with a big wind behind him too. Just didn't quite get control of it. See it here as it comes across. Swirling in the wind, kept his eye on it. Didn't quite catch hold of it. But Ireland have about 14-15 minutes left now to see this game through. In truth, they're probably value for a second goal. They played that well, I think, bar 10 minutes in the opening second half when the Croatians seemed to be getting the upper hand. I think at this stage Brian Kerr will be quite happy.
Finnan. Here's O'Shea. Now Duff. Looking for Robbie Keane with the cross, and Robert Kovac heads it behind. It's a corner.
Yeah, great ball again. Kovac had no choice. I mean, a touch higher than Robbie Keane was lurking in a lovely area between the two centre halves. Just watch it here now. It looked as if he was in there to score. In fact, had it not been as good a touch, it might have come all the way through off his head to young Stephen Elliott, who again had crept into a good position.
Keane's corner. Dunn had got in round the back, but it's cleared to Kilban.
A little bit unlucky, just a bit high. The goalkeeper did well. He was under a little bit of pressure there from Elliott. You can see it here, it's a swirling ball. Manages to get a punch, maybe not the best punch in the world, and Kilban couldn't keep it down.
Brian Kerr's managerial debut for Ireland was against Scotland. Tommy Burns' managerial debut for Scotland is tomorrow against Sweden. It's live on Sky Sports 1. Coverage beginning at 7. Sweden, the Group 8 leaders in Croatia's World Cup qualifying group. They've got another friendly themselves against Egypt in Cairo next month before their next two qualifiers when they host Iceland and Malta in March. Here's Miller. Keane up ahead, has to check his run to stay onside and does that, and then gets pulled down by Tokic.
Miller's done great again there. Won the ball fair and square, galloped forward and choose not to pass to Robbie, which was correct because I think Robbie had got himself into an offside position. I think he's done really, really well. He's really come good this second half. And again, another one that Brian Kerr can look on fondly and say, I can use him any time.
It's Duff's cross. Miller. Finnan recovered his footing, but no messing around with the challenge. That was no-nonsense stuff from Hrvatska.
Yeah, he's a big lad. You saw an opportunity there. Steve Finnan did well. Managed to get to ground, didn't get injured, popped up.
Well, Brian Kerr had been sparing with his substitutions up until this point, but Paddy Kenny is coming off. And Shay Given coming on to get a run out. And Alan Quinn is also coming on, the captain for the evening, Kevin Kilban, having been replaced. So the armband passing to the regular captain, Kenny Cunningham. Hrvatska behind Finnan's ball in. Cleared by Niko Kovac. It's Finnan.
Brian Kerr giving Alan Quinn the opportunity now to show what he can put on the line in terms of being in the squads and being part of this, what up to now is a success story. He's been here once or twice before, he knows what it's about. The more games these young players get, you know, the better they get, the more confident they get. It's wonderful that we have the opportunities to do it in winning teams.
Leko. Back to him from Kranjčar. And he's got away here, it's De Silva! Through Given's legs, and Richard Dunn gets across heroically.
Fantastic work by Dunn. Given half done the job. But just have a little look here. Kenny goes to read it in front. It's a lovely little chip over the head. He's in on goal, enough to prevent the ball going in, and Dunn, a heroic diving save off the line. Prevented a surefire equaliser.
Leko's testing corner. A baptism of fire really for Shay Given so soon after coming on.
Absolutely, but to be fair, he done what he had to do, and with the help of Big Richard between them, they kept it out. But Cunningham, I think, just for once, probably tried to nip in front, thinking the ball was coming in on the ground, and I think it was Kolak who actually played a nice little delicate chip over him, and chance opened up.
Here's Elliott. Found himself in a tight spot and then pulls Kranjčar down. Just addressing a word to Liam Miller. A couple of goal line clearances we've seen now to preserve Ireland's lead. Miller and Dunn both coming to Ireland's rescue in that situation.
Absolutely, just shows you the value, you know, being alert all times. I mean, Dunny, fantastic work there. Liam Miller earlier on. But I think it might have been harsh on Ireland.
Here's Duff. Keane's in the middle. And beat the goalkeeper with a cross.
Yeah, the goalkeeper for them has done all right. There are times when he's been the one that has prevented Ireland getting through. Not so much of making spectacular saves, but being in the right position. His positioning has been good.
Here's Kranjčar. Niko Kovac losing out to Damien Duff. Tokic sliding across. Duff has Quinn up ahead to his left and finds him. Play brought back for the earlier foul on Duff.
Yeah, referee did well. If the ball had got through to Quinn, I'm sure he'd allowed the advantage. But when it hadn't, he was quick to signal the free kick.
Another Ireland change here. Stephen Elliott's international debut is going to come to an end. But he's done himself no harm with his senior bow.
Yes, it had everything but the chances at goal for me. I thought he linked up well, he worked hard, his touch was good. You know, there's a lot of quality to like about his performance. Just a pity that he didn't get some chances on goal, but, you know, absolutely no fault in his debut.
So Graham Barrett on for Elliott. 6 minutes plus stoppage time left.
Once again, another player who'll be looking to impress. Graham, who a few years ago burst on the scene, electric pace. 1 or 2 injuries helped prevent him from his career taking off the way everybody felt it would a couple of years ago, but he's probably one of Peter Reid's bright sparks at Coventry. I wonder how long he'll be in that division.
He started out as a striker at Arsenal, Graham Barrett. He's been used more as a wide midfield player by Coventry in recent times, despite indicating he'd like to go back to his former role.
I think in that division it's needs must. There's a lot of games for the year, 46 league games. Squads aren't as big as they used to be. But hopefully, you know, he'll get a run up front.
It's Duff's kick. It clears Richard Dunn, the man whose goal line clearance kept Ireland's lead earlier.
Yeah, so watch here, this is after the incident arose. Shay does enough to get his leg to it. As that's going across, he does brilliant there just to get in front of the attacker.
Balaban was the player he had to hold off. It's Kavanagh. Here's Duff. Miller. All shoveled away.
Great attempt. Duff did well, persevered. Came across goal. Little layoff. There was one thing on his mind. Win behind, kept it down. The goalkeeper's in again. He was up to the task. Pity it didn't pop out. There's a couple of Irish players there. Quinn was one of them. Might have just dropped out, but the goalkeeper did enough to get it out for a corner.
Keane's ball across. Dunn will pick it up for Ireland. Sold Keane short. Here's Sirna. Relieve some of the pressure. Foul by Balaban. Holding Finnan back. Here's Duff.
Well, he's disgusted he hasn't got a free kick there. I just feel that the referee being the other side, he might have seen the foul better.
And here's the way to make any injustice he feels come back to haunt him. He's still angry about the non-decision.
Yeah, he showed great skill to get the ball past him, but I think the referee just was a little bit unsighted. There was two bodies in his way to see the check. Man, he's got 4 minutes left of his career. I think he just wants a nice, easy finish.
The sight of the stewards falling into line shows how close we are to the end of the game and an Irish victory. Duff was the magician who made the goal happen for Robbie Keane. Is that goal going to be enough? Conceded late goals to Croatia before. The late equaliser here in the 2-2 draw the last time the sides met, and another late Davor Šuker goal when you were playing, Niall, back in '99.
Yeah, I can remember it quite well. I suppose it wasn't that important, the result in the greatest scene of things, but it'd be nice if they just hold it out now, because I know they've cleared one or two off the line, but in fairness, Damien had a great chance. Robbie again at a one-on-one. I mean, to me, that man their side a full value for a victory, and although it's just a friendly, I think it's nice to carry the unbeaten run and a win. Well, ask any dressing room, ask anybody in there. Win, win, win. There's nothing going too wrong if that's the case.
It'll be a 14th match unbeaten at Lansdowne Road under Brian Kerr. So Shea. Now Duff. Giving it back by O'Shea, who's carried on his run. Duff's looking for Robbie Keane. Well anticipated.
Yeah, Bettina's been steady in that goal. He's got into some great positions, foiling Robbie on more than one occasion.
Here's Sirna. And De Silva here looking to get away from Kenny Cunningham.
Yeah, marshalling him quite well there, Kenny, as the ball bobbled about. Showed his strength, you can see. Looked as if there's a little bit of danger had he got it under control, but Kenny stayed with him, made it very awkward for him. Eventually the ball ran out. To see it here, he's in tight, making things awkward for him. Did enough.
Not too many raised eyebrows that this man Damien Duff has just been named the sponsors man of the match.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too many disagreeing. I mean, he really set the place alight. First 20 minutes didn't look as a lot was happening. This guy gets on the ball, shows an absolute genius, and you know, Ireland are going away, hopefully, and I hope I'm not speaking too soon, with a nice victory.
Niko Kovac with the throw. Here's Leko. They don't lack finding Pranjic. And it's Leko here looking to break free. Kavanagh making the job more difficult for him. Miller's clearance. And Barrett foul. Here's Graham Barrett. Neretlak coming back at him. Not short of support then. 3 minutes added on. And within that period of injury time, Ireland are going to give a home debut to young Aidan McGeady of Celtic. Player who did qualify to play for Scotland, where he plays his club football, but opted for the Republic. And now he's coming on for Robbie Keane.
Yeah, another youngster who we're all very, very excited about. Brian Kerr has done great to manage to bring him into the fold. He's replacing Robbie Keane. I'm sure deep down in his mind somewhere he'll be hoping to emulate him, not just tonight but over the years. He's a fantastic prospect and a favourite of the crowd here, being a Celtic player.
Here's Duff. That's the shot at Neretlak. Cleared by Robert Kovacs. That's Finnan, and McGeady gets his first touch. Back from Cunningham. When climbing on Leko. Here's Sirna. It's Balaban. Now Niko Kovac. Cleared by Finnan. Here's Tokic. It's Pranjic. It's Robert Kovac. Here's Kranjčar looking to make room for himself. Duff gets back, covering against Balaban.
Did well, Damien. We've been speaking all night about his wizardry going forward, but he got back to make the initial challenge on the edge of the box, stayed with his man and forced the corner.
From the corner, no messing around with the clearance from Quinn. Ireland upbeat at the end of the calendar year. Their classic combination earning them the win against Croatia. Goal taker, Robbie Keane. Goal maker, man of the match, Damien Duff, whose wizardry set up the first half opportunity that Keane finished in his usual clinical fashion for his 24th international goal. There were scares for Ireland, but Richard Dunn, with one of 2 goal line clearances, marked his return to the international fold after a year out with some good defending, especially in that second half after he'd settled down on his return to the side. And Liam Miller also enacted an important goal line clearance from a hopeful prod from Bosko Balaban. A rare defeat for Croatia, but Ireland end the year in confident form, and it's finished Ireland 1, Croatia 0.